Hey guys, True Night back here. So tonight I want to go over what I feel for the month of June, probably most of July, August until we get into a next set. A deck tier list of where I think we're going to end up meta-wise based off of Chicago. And then while I'm doing that, I'm creating blue, steel, sapphire, steel items deck, kind of similar to what we saw at Chicago. I'll implement Tragic Hero just because he's my favorite card next to Simba. Hopefully they make something cool with Simba, but yeah, so I'll be building that while I'm going over this, but I just wanted to talk about my thoughts on it and everything, give you guys my perspective as a new player in what we see. Just coming from a different card game, I want to give you guys like my insight of it. So most represented deck in the room, of course, in my opinion. I think at the very top of the echelon we're going to have definitely Emerald Steel. I think that this card is going to be a mess to handle for everybody. I think for sure it's going to be something that's just very strong, very prevalent, very much just going to be in your face, and always there to contend, in my opinion. I don't know if it's going to be the best deck. For all I know, people have found a way to destroy it, but also I don't know, I think that like as strong as it is with Diablo and Bucky and all those things you see in it, it plays Tragic Hero, which I talked about this. I'll talk about this later on in the video at deck profile that I do of my final version of Stand Together, where I do implement Tragic Hero. I think Tragic Hero is just a distraction, and a really good one. You put it down on the field, and I think your opponent just says, "Oh, I gotta deal with this thing right now," and panics. So, at least in my opinion, that's what I saw. So, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, of course. Now, I did put all these down here just because didn't see much representation, didn't do too well, they're not in the top. I am going based off of like top 16 lists and what finished strongest and all. So, just kind of want to go from there. So, next up, I want to go into purple and green. So, as you guys can see, I feel like Emerald Steel is on a threshold of its own. But I think there's other decks that induce Diablo and things of that nature that can really thrive. And I think playing a green is never wrong with that, and I think it goes really well with purple, as you saw in the finals. So, not much to say there. Also, Merlin Rabbit, of course, you know, so can't really go wrong with that there, and what it brings to the table. And then also, that goes in hand in hand. My next idea is, I think right there with it, is purple and red. I'm actually gonna put them all together. I think right there with that as well is blue and red. Maui is a menace. Merlin Rabbit is a menace, as you can see. Obviously, some of the strongest cards in the game, Diablo. So, 3 of the strongest cards in the game right there that I just said. And then you got Be Prepared, you got the Castle, you got all of those things. Lucky Dunn, Fishbone Quill. Shoot, how far I'll go with the ramp. Toa. I should know him because he's in one of the main pieces of my deck. But I just think that like those kinds of cards are like meta defining and these decks all made them. So that's where those stand with my opinion. And I don't really think it's going to change much. And I mean, obviously, you could see it because at a top 64, they were like the main ones, you know. So, yeah. But now that brings us to the other colors in steel, and I guess this is the important part, is where I'm gonna rank these as far as your next options, because I feel like these are truly 4 of the strongest decks, but I feel like what can also compete right there with all of them and give especially Emerald Steel a hard time. And I'm not gonna say, okay, I'm gonna put this here right now, because I'm not gonna say like one is better than the other, because obviously after Swiss we saw at Chicago that Amethyst Steel was in first place, right? So we saw that was the first place deck, and that's for a reason. When you're facing off against 9 opponents, you're only going 2 games, yeah, but when you're facing off against 9 opponents, or I'm sorry, 12 opponents in Swiss, and you're coming out the top dog, like, obviously the deck is performing very well, you know. And then with Sapphire Steel, you have, it can easily, I mean, not easily, nothing easily beats Emerald Steel, but it puts up a dang good fight. And it puts up a dang good fight about any of these decks. So, Be Prepared really sucks, and Maui really sucks, but there's ways to fight it. So, this deck can stand up to that. And I think that makes this deck insanely powerful. And same can be said, which is why I'm also going to be building Steel Song. Because Steel Song is insane. And not necessarily just the cookie cutter Steel Song, but like the one we saw in Chicago. I'm probably definitely going to profile it, try it out, see if it's my cup of tea. I'm the kind of guy that likes to run 2 decks, and I really usually like to run like kind of opposite ways of playing. So I'm going to explore both those things, and that might be what I run this meta. So, but tonight, guys, that will be my thoughts on the decks and where they stand. I know I'm not really talking about these, but it's because I just didn't really hear anything from them. So, I don't know where they rank. I didn't remember watching a match involving Red Steel or Purple Steel. But most notable games that I remember over the weekend were here. And then things that I wanted to talk about at the end of the video. So I remember in my chat group what I wrote to them at the end of day 1. And it was, first, Jafar, the Steel Jafar is an insane card. And really helps a lot of Steel decks out immensely. It's probably going to see a lot more play, and therefore it may go up in price. I don't remember even seeing Rapunzel, the $40 one, the gifted healing. Don't even remember seeing her being played. She probably was, but from the matches I was watching and games I was paying attention to, I don't remember seeing her being played. And then I remember making a note of like, is Diablo that scary, or is Bucky that scary? Because as much as we saw it on stream, and as much as like we saw it win, it didn't look scary. It was still going toe to toe with decks. It didn't just come out on top by itself. So I don't think it calls for a ban yet. It could in the future with Set 5 coming out whenever it comes out, and they decide to do whatever they want to do with it. But as it stands right now, I just don't see the need for it. So, anyway, guys, again, that'll be it for me tonight and what I feel. So please let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and we'll kind of go from there. So be kind, be respectful, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Peace.